This is special talk. It was beyond expectation. On Wednesday, the first reading of the marriage equality draft bill received a resounding majority of votes. The law should have fallen because of Thailand's lengthy history of polarized coalition opposition politics. Instead, 211 parliamentarians from the parties voted in favor of the legislation, while 180 members opposed it and 16 lawmakers abstained. Joining me today are คุณ Thanyawaj Kamonwongwat MP from Move Forward Party ออกก้าวไกล and คุณ Woranai Wanitchaka leader of รวมไทย United Party ออกรวมไทย United สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to our special talk. I cannot ignore this issue. It's a big issue in Thailand now, and many countries are watching Thailand. We are going to this direction or not? Equality, marriage equality, and it's something that many of us, I can tell that, because on a day before, the coalition whips publicly indicated that the Parliamentary Coordination Committee will resolve or reject the bill in its first reading, and the bill introduced by Move Forward Party list member Kutan may not pass the first reading. So I post on my Facebook that just ignore this government. We're gonna fight for the next round something, but it's turned the other side. So I like to know your opinion, both of you, but starting from Kutan first, the overview pictures of the meeting yesterday. What did you see, and also how do you prepare, and anything else that you like to tell the public for the record of this very important event for Thailand?
Yes, first of all, I try to explain that the people think about that LGBTQ plus are not natural. We are strange, we are abnormal. And I try to defend that LGBTQ plus is a natural. Why we made the plan, a jet plane, go to the moon, go to the star, go to the universe, to accept some rock outside the world. It's so far. Why don't you accept? Why it's so hard to accept the people who standing and be your friend and they are LGBTQ. Why don't you cannot accept that? I try to explain that we are natural. Actually, I really don't have time to prepare myself because I have a lot of work. I have to work in budgeting before a day, and I work late because I have a meeting with ITIN and about the policy, and I go back home and
running out of energy.
Yeah, and but I had a light in my mind, and I know I really don't know it passed or not, but the cabinet want to turn it down. And when I walk up, I'm just take a shower and drive a car and open my iPhone to listen fortune cookie. Yes. and go to the parliament and meet the press before the debate starting, and I just make a little bullet and okay, I have to speak and I have to debate and let's go, let's see what happened. So yesterday is my sincerity side, and nothing planned too much. It's just me to speak out for LGBTQ community, and I don't expect anything but just to do my best, and I'm so glad that I did it because it's the people LGBTQ so happy when the bill passed, and I'm so happy too.
Let me touch on this point for all why. Do you still need to explain the nature vs not nature strength again in this kind of meeting. I think that there's really old age to explain that LGBT natural or we are not against or like we are sinful or something like that. Do you still need to explain this these days?
Yes, because if you remember in the 9th February when first debate on the parliament about the marriage equality, after I done and the cabinet freezing, and while we freezing the bill, I go to the explain and study and explain to many department of government about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, go to the many place, to talk about the agent from the government and try to explain what is marriage equality is, and everybody do agree with me, but except the wait a minute, except the
Some parties or some
yeah,
government agencies?
except the decree decree office. I go to the the Comptroller General Department, Rights and Liberty Protection Department, Department of Social Development and Welfare, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Human Rights Lawyer Expert, Department of Administrative Affairs, many places. Yeah, I have to
After
go.
that February that you went to these places for the
Yeah.
months.
So because the decree, they refer about the Constitutional Court decision reading last year, and as we know, that is like a homophobia and transphobia, and
Oh,
yeah, and some words in is on the paper, and that restraint we not natural, so that's why we should have
I
another
see.
law. Yes.
So that department used that reference that a lot of homophobic slurs to us,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
LGBT people, and then they
Yes.
use that as a reference. Very interesting, and that's why you have to explain the basic meaning
Yeah.
and also the
Yeah.
concept
Yeah.
again. So คุณโก้
Yeah.
ครับ what did you see from yesterday? It is something supposed to happen, or it's just like, oh, it's interesting that why they end up with this result. What's your opinion?
Well, in an idealistic world, it is something that was supposed to happen perhaps 20 or 30 years ago, not just today. But let me just say that I was watching the parliament, and I was watching Bhutan speaking about this bill in parliament in tears, and I heard the House Speaker Kun Chuan asking him to please stop crying, stop crying. And then I watched after the bill was passed and Bhutan again was in tears and people were gathering around him, don't cry, don't cry. And honestly, I sat not at home, I was at home, I was at the office. I sat there
Uh-huh.
thinking to myself, cry, let him
Mhm.
cry. These are
Mhm.
tears of joy.
Uh-huh.
These are tears of victory. Cry your heart out. You have achieved, accomplished something that, you know what, last year no one would have thought of this would be possible, especially with this government in charge, especially with the old politics that still dominate parliament. So cry and cry is a great victory. However, if I may add, it is not yet a real victory until the day comes when two LGBTQ plus can walk into the district office and sign their marriage license.
That will be the real victory. But let me
It
go
is
back to this
a real
point.
D-Day.
Kun Go, let me go back to this point. I'm interested in getting your opinion because you are a straight person, obviously.
Isn't that
when
obvious?
you listen to one LGBT MP like Krutan explaining stuff, maybe you have heard this kind of explanation before, but in that setting and in the room full of the people that can kill you at any time, you imagine if you were there or something, how did you explain to the whole room like they asked before? You still go back to explain about the basic things about the fundamental rights as LGBT. if you were there, how you gonna explain?
I would say it's quite almost impossible to explain. If you explain this concept to people who believe in equality, they will understand it. But if you
Right.
explain this concept to people who do not believe in equality in the first place, they will never understand it. And that's the whole point. How many MP in Parliament actually believe in equality? And equality is equality for all, not equality for some. And 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 this is, I mean, this is an issue not just in Thailand, it's worldwide. And frankly, we live in a very old world. I mean, even in England, it was until the 1960s, same-sex act was a crime punishable by going to jail. So the changes that we are experiencing over the past 40 or 50 years are coming very fast. And we have a new generation that understand and embrace the concept of equality, enlightenment, so on and so forth. But then the world is still dominated by those who are from the generation that live in a different world. No, I listen to Kutan. I
And it
listen to Kun
right.
Paibu.
I
Kun
see.
Paibu.
What do you think about Kun Paiboon? He's
Well,
quite very sharp.
I listen to speak, and it is very evident that these are two people from completely different world.
I
And
see.
Kutan was speaking honestly and sincerely, and I also believe Kun Paiboon was speaking honestly and sincerely. And Kun Paiboon honestly and sincerely believe in what Kutan mentioned before, this stereotype in thinking and believing that if you are LGBTQ, then you are strange, you are abnormal, you are against nature. And therefore, if you're strange, abnormal, against nature, how can you deserve equal right to anyone else? And
Right.
therefore, whatever
I
I
see.
give you, not me personally, but I in general, whatever I give you, you should be happy with. It's a privilege that I
I give
give you.
you like this. You should be
I
happy
give
now
this.
because you're
Why
not
can't you
human.
be happy? Why can't you be happy? This is enough. And that's why the most dangerous thing that may happen over the next few weeks is it may or may not pass the second reading. What would the
I see.
senators have to
Right.
say?
Right.
Right? Because there are still steps and obstacles left. And the biggest obstacles to this bill is nothing more than our own personal prejudice.
Right. This is good.
Politics is an expression
This
of
very
culture.
clear. This very clear in the picture. And let me go back a little bit because Kun Go just touched this point about you're talking to who they understand or they don't understand. So we can see roughly from the result of the votes from each party that the nation has prepared for the whole morning to understand this even. So let me show the graphic that we did today so that we like to help the public understand. Maybe it's too small for you. I can read it. Let's read this first. Bill vote results: yes 211 and no 180. It's just different, only 30. So we don't think about the abstention, okay? 30 that above the no. And now let me go through the whole thing and we discuss each part. Okay, we go to each political party vote. If you are watching this on the mobile phone, maybe you cannot see it, too small, but let me read it. Most yes votes, เพื่อไทย party, yes 106, no 3, abstention we don't count, okay? Just say yes or no, okay? เพื่อไทย majority say yes, okay? Move forward party is Krutan party 43, but still no 4. I still want to know who's this 4. And
Who the
still,
one who leave the party right now?
let me go to that too. I like to know this one for these 4 people and all เศรษฐกิจ Thai party. Quite surprising, 13 against 2. And now let's go to the no votes that we quite understand them, that they're gonna go majority of the no is Palang Pracharat party, no 76, and yes 6. I just thought the whole party would say no, but still 6 people saying yes. Interesting. And Democrat party, this quite big, what should I say, surprise as well. Yes 13, but no 29 is more than the yes by more than 50%. ภูมิใจไทย no 45, ภูมิใจไทย anyway it's just like a subsidiary of พลังประชารัฐ anyway right so 45 against 2 so let's see the third line of this graphic coalition parties altogether no 169 and 52 yes and opposition parties 159 yes and no only 11 so how do you explain this let's go to Krutan first let's go to your party first move forward party
Yes, actually,
there should be
like
47 or 48
yeah,
oh
but
yes right
when the politics run, the parliament start, and you will know that we have the member of parliament want to change and they want to leave us because of some bill they don't want to sign and they just leave and I cannot say that much but it's clearly they're gonna leave so like we know the one who go to the one of the Chonburi right and someone go to the Pheu Thai someone go to the Phumchai Thai they are gone already like we know but they still in the member of the parliament as a move forward party because they cannot leave because they leave they have to quit from the parliament they just wait as to get fired
for these sessions the budget
yes
a lot of budget stuff and this the reading stuff so let me ask you this Kutan
yes
so this is not beyond your expectation you can tell in your mind did you have numbers before yesterday
yeah a half hour before my last debate about this bill Pheu Thai one of Pheu Thai walked to me and they said okay Kutan you just fight it because you're gonna fall down they're gonna turn your bill down you just debate and say what you want okay I try to do my bullet on my computer and what I'm gonna say and Rome I have to thank so many my colleagues Rangsiman Rome and Tirat and Teng he come up last 3 man straight and talk about the LGBTQ so sincerity and my last debate is come up just speak out and my voice is shaking and I try to stop and tell them that it's not my tears it's my people tears yes and at the end I really don't know much and after I done the vote passed I have a time to talk with one of my colleagues too named Surachet he is a very excellent good member of parliament and he's sitting to me and then he said to me that Krutan it's just last 5 minutes they change their mind yes
you still feel that now okay let you take a little bit break and you can keep crying because Go will do you a big support for that คุณโก้ครับlet's take a look at พลังประชารัฐ they still got 6 people saying yes so what does it mean so these 6 people gonna move out of the party from your guess
First of all, let me save myself by saying that whatever I'm about to say is simply speculation on my part. We are theorizing, we are speculating. Now, there's a number of reasons why certain MPs did not vote according to party line, specific to this same marriage equality bill. One reason possibly is perhaps they are already on their way out. The election will come up perhaps in 6 months, perhaps in 10 months. Politicians are already making moves. Another reason could very well be that this issue is not the same as, for example, the royal budget or the army budget or the Gansha bill or even the Sura Gaona alcohol bill. Why is it not the same? Because this bill has nothing to do with money and political power. This bill is not to serve the purpose of one political faction over another or one business over another. This bill is simply about humans and humanity and who you are as a person and your personal conscience as a person. Now, I do not know the Phalang Pracharath MP that went against party line. If I had to guess, I would guess that they are probably from a more progressive background. They have friends, they know people of the LGBTQ community, and they know that LGBTQ, straight, whatever, we are all the same. We are all just human, and they can touch these people on a human level, so they understand that. So they are able to say, okay, hey, you know what? This is not about any politics, whether you are, Salim or Samkib or whatever. This is just about human. So let me just make this stance for humanity. It could just be personal conscience. Actually, for me, I believe a lot of it when it comes to this issue is about your personal moral, personal values, and personal conscience. And the thing that stand against the progressiveness of marriage equality is old culture and old values. That still is in the DNA of a lot of people who are in charge of this country, who sit in parliament and who sit in the Senate. That's the issue, that's the problem. But if I may just add one thing quickly, I think this sort of bill is very good for the people to judge or to decide. I made a TikTok video earlier on and about this topic in which I said, just have a look at all the names of the MPs that vote. And if you see the names of those who vote against this bill, that means they do not understand, they do not value, they do not embrace equality, which is essential to democracy. Therefore, come next election, if you see that name and if you yourself want equality and democracy, pick somebody else, pick another party. This is the beautiful transparency of democratic politics. We can see what's going on. So this is information that people can use to judge. And when it comes to the turn of the senators, we can do the same thing. Look at the names, except when it comes to the senators, we don't get to choose them again next time. No one chose them.
I'm not sure that in the media for other issues like what other issues the media have interest in pointing out the list like this before or not. I'm not sure. And with the list that many media reporting the list of the name of the people who against or yes or abstain whatever, so we can see, like Kun Go said, the name and the last name and the party. But to be fair, some of them that like Phalang Pracharath, I think that 76 who vote against, 26 people among these, some of them maybe understand and want to vote to say yes, but because the majority of the members in their parties not saying yes, so just say no because I want to go to the party line. What do you think about this? Because you said, this is my personal value, we should reflect that we can see from the six vote from the yes in Phalang Pracharath. So for your party, if you were in here, how did you manage? You're gonna tell everyone can do free vote up to your belief and value, because some of your members may be from the south of Thailand in the Muslim communities, and some of them may have different belief. So what would you manage this?
Well, I believe the first question to ask each MP or each politician is, why did you come into politics in the first place? The answer should be, you come into politics because you want to achieve development, progressiveness, equality, and fairness for society and for the people. If that is your purpose to come into politics, then you cannot say no to this bill. But if your purpose to come into politics is to be a member of a party and to be in power and to be afraid to get kicked out because you don't follow the party line, then hey, that's your right. But again, people have to know that. People have to understand that. And people can decide. Now, my personal viewpoint is, you can't force politicians or political parties to do this or that. They all come into politics. They all have their agenda. They all have their purpose. The best we can do is let it be known, and so that the people can decide how they want to vote the next time. Now, in regard to Rwam Thai United, I'm a big believer in free votes. That doesn't mean on every issue there are certain issues that we have to stand for. I'm a big believer, but otherwise I'm a big believer in free votes. And I would say the same thing. Every party has this problem. Future Forward and Now Move Forward also have this problem. It turns out you started off with a group of people who you thought agree on the same thing. It turns out that perhaps not. Some don't agree. It happens, and that's reality. And again, that's the issue for the people to decide. So it's also very important for the media to report, for the media to show, and it's also very important for the people to be informed and make informed decisions. Democracy can only grow if we make informed decisions.
We should do this in informed decisions. I just thought that maybe I have my team to just ask those who say no, what's in their mind to say no to this, because the society is making this progress toward this direction, but you still say no because you based on your own belief, not the belief that you're going to do for the society or anything that we love to listen. You think there should be a good way to find out and be fair to those who say no, and we not just like summarize or take that they're not good or something. So this is one thing that may be happening. So let's go back to Kutan a little bit. You like to say something about this result from other parties. I think that you have friends in other parties and you have talked to them all along why we have to support this, why it's important to the country and society to support this. So you can tell something that your feedback or result that you talk to other parties, not only on your own people.
Yeah, because as a party, okay, I'm in the opposition and they are in the government side, but the individual personal relation, I have a lot of some friends who sitting and talk about the life, about the equality. I can talk to the women who live in the government side, who understand about the LGBTQ plus community, and yes, I have to talk to them, and as a personal, they know they think about the people more than the political. Marriage equality, it will be easy if we think about that it's all the victory of the people. If they think that it's not my success, it's not my just only move for party success, but the parliament, it's not the parliament success also, it's the people's success. It's a happy time. But okay, as you know, then when we talk about the women, how many seats in the parliament, how many LGBTQ to become a member of parliament, because when the man society I am not blame you are good man, but I mean the male
You can blame me.
society, male dominant society, they fight with about the ideology, right wings and left wings. They try to fight and try to debate about what we're gonna go, but the women and the LGBTQ fight to raise the different life. When the man go fight like this, and the woman and LGBT fight like, it's different angle. So like if I talk about the country who has got a problem about the genocide, who live in the male dominant society for a long time, about the power, about the top down, something like that. They have got a genocide, and it's a sad situation. But after that, when the women and the LGBTQ come to the parliament, it's changed. It's changed because we talk about how our children in the future, and we talk about how we put the value economy for the gender equality, how we put the welfare to everyone, how we can make our children to have a good education. So it's different from the male dominant society. Talk about the weapon, the power, So if you see
Kunko
the
is
word,
smiling now. You're
yeah,
talking
if you
about
see the
weapon and
word,
power.
okay, it's
He speaks the
some
truth.
man help, yeah, some man help me, yeah, the one who absent because they want to decrease the number of seats to make me win. Yeah, they but they not, but they just don't want to work, but they just absent.
Let me ask you this too, before we go to another point. 477 names that you saw as well, Kutan. Did
Yeah,
you go through those 477 names in the list in the
yeah,
paper? I know that you did go through that. Did you go through that, right?
yes.
And did you find something interesting? Like, I did talk to this person so many times, and they're supposed to say yes, but when it turned out why they say no in the list. Did you discover that?
Some of them I'm surprised, and I'm I'm not sad because, but I realized that when the people spot in front of me, someone who never talked to me before, they vote for me, or not for
Oh,
me, not for the people, and some people smiling to me, but they don't vote. So what do I think? I think that is politics, and
it's politics.
yes, and is they have to be a good man for someone, and and I
You
cannot
don't
say
need to
that.
be very discreet and polite here, Kutan.
Yeah,
You
but I
can
cannot
tell.
understand. But I can understand. But for me, when the hashtag marriage equality reached #1 on Twitter about 2 years ago, when I brought up this bill into the parliament, I just stopped the car and my phone is ring 1,000 times. You know, I just stopped car there and think of is the picture of my friends, picture of you, Kunyad, and many friends, many NGO, many who work for LGBTQ through my head. And I'm just shaking and crying. I'm just stop the car and freeze there about 2 hours. And I know that is the
Oh,
power of the people. That time I know that what is the MP is really. Before that, okay, I'm an MP. I will do my job. I will do my best. But in that time, I realized that okay, I have to be their voice. Yeah.
and that
So
moment you just
that moment,
realize
yeah.
deep in
So
your feeling that you supposed to what you supposed to feel and do. I see.
yeah, and so I cannot control everyone, but I said to the press that it's time because the people want MP to do on their duty directly. The people want who MP who work for them because they were used. You have to work honesty, and the people borrowing about the politics of benefits for vote or something, the people know about that. Just do your job and make it happen. Yeah, that's all.
Right. So now let's move to what's next. From your opinion, could go. This is the in legislation. This is the baby step. Okay, it's a big change or something that we have to talk about this. But it's a one baby step. There are a lot of obstacle challenges ahead. The government may be no longer here, and maybe we have to go over and restart all over it again. Strategically, what's supposed to be done to get this move all along, regardless of what the government to what's going to happen to the government? Okay, as a regular course of that, what's supposed to be done? What do you think?
I I think whether the bill will actually become law or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think what should happen next as a consequence of the push for this bill, and what I think we all should try to continue to push, is this. Politics is an expression of culture, and it's an expression of mindset. And this bill and all the push behind it is a tool to educate society and educate people to be more open, to be more acceptance. Krutan made a very good point earlier. Society is a patriarchy, and it has been so for thousands of years. It's only in the past few decades that things are changing. So all these things are quite new. So it's just education and open people's mind. The reason the bill got this far and was able to push is because of the change in the Thai society over the past 10 and 20 years. I'm old enough to remember a time that I could not imagine LGBTQ taking to the street in a pride parade. It's happening now. I'm old enough to remember that to the day that I couldn't imagine LGBTQ in parliament, but it's happening today. And all these things are happening because society is changing. And if we want this bill to actually pass and be enacted into law, then we have to continue to open the mindset, open the culture of society, and that's through education. And we have to understand there are LGBTQ politicians worldwide. There are prime ministers and presidents who are LGBT.
They're already there for many years.
But the problem with Thailand at the moment is both for LGBTQ plus and for women. For example, just last week, the Prime Minister spoke about the role of women. And what is the role of women? In the kitchen, raising babies, and making supplementary income. What does that mean? It means the role of women is Chang Tao Lang, back foot of the elephant. No, we're human. We have 2 feet, and the 2 feet have to walk, take turn. Otherwise,
we're not the elephant.
We're not an elephant. So the mindset is still there that women are somehow inferior, and it's the same with LGBTQ plus. Society still look at LGBTQ plus us. Oh, we love them. They are great. They are nice. They are fun. They are comical. They are in the entertainment. That's great. But that's that. LGBTQ plus, if I may speak on behalf, doesn't really need you to be nice and you smile. LGBTQ plus need you to treat them as equal human being with respect and dignity of human being. I have worked with some ex-prisoners who are LGBTQs, especially gay men, and they would tell me stories of how in the community the police would target them because in the mindset of the police there's a stereotype that if you are gay and if you are poor, then chances are you sell drugs for a living. And they would get harassed by the police. They would get harassed by their neighbors. They would get so many harassment and condemnation and so on and so forth. Why? Simply because of their chosen gender. So if we can change this social...
Excuse me, that's the wrong name, folk. That's not... Could go.
Sorry?
Okay, change it. No. Continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we have to continue to change social perception. And the more people are calling out for equality, the bigger the Pride March can be, the more people are signing up for change and so on and so forth, then that's more pressure on the politicians to make change. And again, it always go back, since we are in a semi-quasi, somewhat democracy with the 250 senators, every 4 years at least we get a chance for the people to look at the politicians and choose the one that will take this country forward.
Right.
I talk too much. I apologize.
No, not talking too much. You raise many points that others have to stick to the reality. We have this kind of people in the power, and the most difficult thing is to change attitude, because it be there, it's deep down, it imprinted in the mind for years, and in the generation X above, and then the baby boomers, they're not seeing things differently from like other generation. So it's like they're over just like that. So we cannot change the attitude very easily, but we should talk to the people who want to listen, right, Kutan? So your next step, after this, can you tell our audience that what is your next step after this to make sure that, like Kugo said, it's good time to educate people, find allies, or you have to bring new strategy from the past that you learned from your experience. That I think that you have gained a lot of experience about communication, talking to people, like hard-headed people, conservative people. What is your plan?
Okay, actually, there are 3 steps in the parliament before the bill draft, marriage equality bill or civil partnership bill come out. So the first term is already done, and is now next week. The committee will be working on the process about considering every line, everything on the bill, and every MP can give the amendment, and somebody want to change this word, that word, and they have all idea to change and to make it complete. And after that, it will come out to the parliament again, and we're gonna under debate again with every line, and so the last step is vote is passed or not. But we have to wait for Senator 2, which is I'm really concerned because we have to our law have to vote pass for MP Parliament and also Senator Parliament. And so right now is my plan is, marriage equality principle, the Parliament accept this yesterday. It's also the civil partnership principle, Parliament accept that yesterday also.
Everything is just like you just let it go, and then they mix up at the end of the day. So the people involved in this maybe get headache.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna combine. They're gonna combine the bills, right? They're gonna combine the bills.
No, I will not do that, but I will try to bring it up 2 bills. Yeah, because there are 2 principles. We have to come out with 2 bills. It's it's the structure of the a process of doing all the draft bill. Yeah, it might be one marriage equality. It might be 80%, 90%. I don't know. But it will come out with the marriage equality, with the marriage, and it also civil partnership come out for someone who want to need to option, but I try to make it to bill. Yeah, because it's my goal.
Okay, คุณก็ครับ This is Thailand. We have underground system run by one company. We have BTS run by another company. We have the bus run by another agency. So something like Thailand seem to like compromise. It is possible. We're gonna have the domestic partnership bill, and also we have the marriage equality. So you can choose.
No,
Is
we
it
can
possible?
take it both. No, why not?
No, Kutan, this is Thailand. It happens
I know.
all the time all my life. I see this dual system. You have the right team, like we have choices. But just like we cannot make decision.
The phrase "this is Thailand, this is Thailand, this is Thailand" is a phrase that we all have heard our entire life, but it's the phrase that I believe we should stop. Because why? Because when you say "this is Thailand," it's like you're giving up. This is all we can do. This is all we can achieve. This is Thailand. I have heard it all my life. I was a bright young man full of ideas and passions and all the things I want to speak out and do, and all I hear is ไม่ได้ This is Thailand ที่นี่เมืองไทยไม่ได้
Right.
This is another cultural mindset that we have to change. Because
Yes,
if we have the mindset,
I understand, but I'm sorry, I'm to speak up. I'm sorry, but because the civil partnership law from the cabinet, it starts from the civil partnership, and if you read every line, about the last line, they have to bring the civil commercial code from the marriage
Yes.
to become a civil partnership because they don't want to, okay, these people go to the marriage and they also can do, can sign up for the civil partnership. So this one is matching. You know, it's like two head and just one tail.
One.
Yeah. In that one tail, I try to turn it up. You have to do marriage equality because the principle and the parliament passed the marriage. So
That's the only thing.
Yes.
We don't need the second or third choices to get married.
If I
Yeah,
may add,
because that's about the divorce part is my point to bring it up.
Okay. ครับคุณโก้ what would you like to say?
if I may add, the civil partnership bill is simply the ผู้ใหญ่ handing something to ผู้น้อย and say, okay, I'm giving you 50% of something. Be happy. Be happy. That's a good dog. Be happy. But the marriage equality bill is simply would be the ผู้ใหญ่ saying that I'm a ผู้ใหญ่, you are ผู้ใหญ่ we are equal, we have the same right. So I agree with Kutai completely. We're not dogs. We don't eat scraps.
I see.
We deserve
good
as everyone else
analogy.
does.
Right. So the direction now, from what I noticed, in like 5 years ago, people still confused which one to choose between the domestic partnership and marriage equality. It should be gonna happen, and marriage equality may be too difficult because fixing the mother law of Thailand is supposed to be difficult, and now the notion changing that it's possible. Like Google said, that we have to believe it is possible. Just like this is Thailand, you know, and this proven in many aspects of the what we see every day as well, like leadership. In the old days, said, "Oh, Thai people don't have leadership. We don't have strong leaders. We just like follow the rules, military ruling, and follow them." And now we can see that civil society and changing, so we have more stronger samples of leaders, like Kungo as well. I think that you're gonna be very strong leaders, and then when you have the role, that you can express more, and you can lead. And Kutan as well, that you can see that LGBT person can lead, even though you look like a person that you not strong in your in physical look, but inside you are very strong. So for the last section like this, I like both of you just say something, your belief, and also maybe what you like to say to those people who not saying yes, or those people who are supposed what they supposed to do, as make some suggestion. Okay, could go first.
The pressure.
To wrap up for today,
let me sum it up like this. I think that 10 or 15 years ago, we would never imagine people talking about lesbian just openly. 10 or 15 years ago, we would never imagine LGBTQ plus in parliament. 10 or 15 years ago, we would never imagine young kids in the street demanding democracy. 10 or 15 years ago, we would never imagine what is happening today. What does that mean? It means the world has changed, and the Thai society also is changing and ready to change and want to change. And you cannot stop the changing of time and the evolution of humanity. You can slow it down, you can try to trip it up, but you cannot stop it. So rather than try to stop it, I would ask everyone, not that it will work, but I would ask everyone to embrace it. I believe that Thailand should move forward. Good party name, by the way. See, I say move forward. Thailand should move forward. But
to be united.
But we should move forward together, not just one half of us move forward, and another half of us try to pull us back. Then it's just a tug of war. And the result is we stay at the same damn place while other countries pass it by. So that's my sum up. you can't stop change.
That's a nice closing. How about ครับครูทันครับ
Yes, first
you can
I
thank
would
somebody as well too.
yeah, I would love to thank say from my heart for all the LGBTQ community to say thank you for your listening your heart and word from your heart. We are appreciate and we are so happy that moment, and I know it's a first step, but you know, I have to tell them all that the love is start now from the parliament, because this law, the people will bring it and make their life with love. So I try to communicate that I can when the bill come out, and just vote with the bigger heart and with the love. Listen to your heart, listen to the human voice, and do vote and make it bigger, and let the parliament full of love, and we are so happy if you vote for that.
We should have some music here. Thanks a lot for both of you. This thanks for joining. This is urgent call today. We didn't plan that we're gonna have this special session, but usually we just run our regular program. And this is Kru Thanyawaj Kamonwongwat, MP from Move Forward Party of ก้าวไกล and the leader of the รวมไทย United Party คุณวรนัย วณิชกะ Thanks so much for joining the nation today. ขอบคุณมากครับ ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Kunjan, for having me, and thank you, and it's nice to meet you. I don't blame you. You are a good man. I'm just
That means a lot. Thank you.
yes.
Thanks to the audience as well too. I'm Vitaya Saeng-Aroon. Have a good night. สวัสดีครับ
ครับ